Hi, I'm Alicia Didsbury. We're here with ISCT TV, and we're here with the director from Marken. Oh my God.
Senior Director.
Senior Director for Marken, Dr. Rohin. Hey, how are you doing?
Nice
It's great
meet you.
to have you here.
Yeah, likewise. Great to
do you
be
want to
here.
tell us a little bit about Marken for those who don't know about it?
Yeah, so happy to do so, and thanks for having me, Alicia. So Marken is the precision healthcare division of UPS Healthcare. We recently took on a new sort of persona. We've now been rebranding ourselves, and the reason is that we brought a lot of our capabilities under one single umbrella. So previously we used to have different subsidiaries within UPS Healthcare, but now we're one. So Marken is now the UPS Healthcare Precision Logistics Division, and what that means is, for many of the people here at ICT, is we have specific capabilities in cell and gene therapy and advanced therapy. So we have a dedicated team of 100 people, more than 100 people now, that handle only cell and gene therapy shipments and logistics, as well as depot services. And why that's important is that every one of those people is educated on the ins and outs of manufacturing cell therapy. They're very knowledgeable. Some of them have a life science background, just as I do. And so I think that helps, as you do as well.
Yeah.
I know you're quite well versed in the field. So I think that we all need to be able to speak the same lingo and speak the same language when it comes to talking to clinicians, to logisticians, to academicians, and to cell therapy manufacturers, who are all part of the same ecosystem. So I think that gives us a bit of an edge, and it allows us to kind of understand
it's like a wraparound
the pain points.
service almost.
Yeah, it's kind of an all-encompassing thing, and we can understand, oh, that's the step where you actually manufacture apheresis. That's why you need that type of shipping solution or that type of packaging versus where you need the LN2 packaging for other sort of legs of your journey. So yeah, I think that helps us to be a little bit more agile and responsive to the industry, for sure.
Amazing. So what are some of the key developments that you're really looking to see over the next couple of years?
Yeah, so obviously I think autologous therapy is here, for the long haul. It works. Patients are seeing, 10 plus years of, success in autologous therapy now, and it's now being hailed as a curative therapy. So I don't think that's going to go away. But to address your question in terms of what's coming up in the future, we're already handling allogeneic therapies and mRNA-based therapies, and we're going to see a lot more of that, I think. We're also starting to see reduced manufacturing timelines. So a lot of CAR T therapies used to take 21 days to manufacture. Now they're taking 8 days, 7 days, in some cases only 1 or 2 days with some of the really rapid manufacturing processes that we're seeing. And why that's important is that we're having to be as responsive as the manufacturing timeframes now. It's no longer okay for us to say, oh, that'll take a couple of days to ship out. Well, you've just lost 2 days to the patient by doing that. So that's a key development I think we'll start to see. And the other one is, just the temperature ranges that we're starting to see the therapies shipped at and held at. For example, with in vivo CAR T therapy, there are no cells anymore. Now it's just a lentiviral vector or a non-viral vector that's being delivered to the patient, and there's no need for liquid nitrogen if that's going to be the way forward. So we're starting to see a bit of a shift in that direction too. With our business at least, and so we need to be able to respond to, let's say, the -80 shipper needs and the -80 storage needs for the same reasons.
So it really sounds to me like you're saying that overall you guys are really nimble and are able to move with how the field is moving. Yeah, that's so important.
And having an understanding of what the field actually is wanting, right? So what are patients needing? Do they need the shipper to be there 2 days early and conditioned in advance, things like that. So just being able to be responsive and agile and making that a custom kind of solution for each modality and each client that we work with.
Yeah. What are some of the pain points and what are you guys thinking about when you think about some of the barriers?
Well, so from a patient perspective, I think we want to be able to treat more patients, and I think that's universally agreed upon. Like we've treated 40,000 patients with CAR T therapies now, but we want that to only increase. And so how do we get these patients to therapies more quickly? Is one pain point that a lot of our customers tell us about. Is we want to be able to treat patients in countries that we haven't already been to, as an example, run clinical trials and also have commercial product in those kind of unseen areas. And then the other is optimizing the process. So a lot of these cell therapies processes that have been sort of grandfathered in, that are commercially viable now, are based on second generation CARs, and maybe they aren't producing the right number of cells or the right potency or the right phenotype of cells. So a lot of our customers want us to be able to help them, in terms of shipping, making sure that these products are viable for the long term and that they have potency and viability for as many days as possible. And then the third, I think, is real-time visibility. So a lot of our customers are now saying that it's not enough for them to know what happened 2 hours ago or 1 day ago. They need to know what's happening in the moment on a map in the same way that you can track your Uber drive or your Amazon shipment,
yep.
Or your pizza. You need to be able to see your cell therapy that's worth millions and millions of dollars in the same way with the same level of real-time visibility. So there's packaging solutions and data logger solutions that we can implement to make sure that happens as well. And then, I think those are the three key pain points. And then, of course, cost of goods, right? So a lot of our customers are saying, this is too expensive. Where can we optimize our costs on the shipping side, on the logistics? Because it's already too costly to manufacture the therapy. So we got to find other ways to, turn those knobs.
This is what everybody's talking about, right?
Yeah, it's just getting those costs down and minimizing the impact to the patient and the person who pays ultimately for those therapies.
And so just last question, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah.
What does precision mean for you, and what are Marken doing around the precision space?
So I mean, for me, precision has a very scientific definition. I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but precision is kind of unfailing consistency, right? So if you think of an arrow hitting a bullseye, right? It may not hit the center of the bullseye every time. That's more accuracy, but it's consistently hitting very close to the center, and that's precision to me, right? It's getting each one of those arrows to hit very, near to each other. And I think in logistics, we have to understand that it's an imperfect, discipline. It is a discipline, it's a science in its own way, but it can never be perfect because you rely on so many different players to get their part right in that sort of,
there's a lot of moving parts.
Moving parts, right? So I feel like precision to us is having the right network, having the right capability, but also having the capacity and also the knowledge to say, okay, that flight is consistently bad. We should not put our shipment on that flight or with that airline. Let's try and use the UPS flight this time. And that's where I think precision comes in, because we now are bringing all of our capabilities under one umbrella where we say, hey, we have our own airline. We shouldn't have to rely on a commercial flight to do this. We have trucks and drivers all over the world. We shouldn't have to rely on an independent contractor in some cases to do this. So we're trying to do that and mix that with AI and technology and data loggers to kind of say, okay, we know exactly where the shipment is. We know what's going on. We have a control tower that's monitoring it in real time or near real time, and using data logger inputs and things like this to say, we have a backup solution. It's the UPS flight and not the commercial flight. And by the way, we know exactly where it is. It's on this, on the tarmac, and it's waiting to be picked up. So we can use that level of sort of foresight and insight and visibility to drive for a more precise solution, if that makes sense.
No, that makes really good sense, and it sounds really exciting. What you guys are doing is such an important part of the whole advanced therapies.
And it's often overlooked, I guess, in some ways.
I think so. It's sort of like the end of the line stuff that you don't think about, but it's critical.
I'll give you an example. We were asked to deliver an apheresis unit to China, right? Mm-hmm. And then the manufacturer wants us to ship the commercial drug product out of China. Now, there's a lot going on with tariffs and things like that right now, so we really need to think about who is your partner in helping you to get that apheresis in and out of that region? Do they understand the trade compliance regulations? Do they understand the packaging solutions? So, that's a good example of where, you really need a partner that understands that.
And having that nimble mindset is just such an important part of it.
Switching gears as needed, I guess.
All right, look, thank you so much for being here with us
pleasure.
today. Really appreciate it.